Okay, so hey guys, so this is the second video of our series, and in this series we are going to look at default dict. uh, Let me show you something before we go ahead. Let me create a dictionary. The name of the dictionary is my, and let me initialize some value. My 0, no, not this one. This one, 1, sorry, is equal to 1. My 2 is equal to 2. Okay, so our dictionary named my have two values. Okay, two key value pairs, one the string 1 and the numeric value 1, and the string 2 and the numeric value 2. Okay, these are the key value pairs that our dictionary have. Now let me print my let me print my 3. So you know what's gonna happen. Of course, it's the dictionary that we just created, that is my, is the regular dictionary in Python. And when we try to print this, as you can see below here, there's a key error. Yes, this is a key error, that is the key 3 is not found in our dictionary. So this is a key error, and therefore we have the concept of default dict. So what default dict does, it works exactly like a Python dictionary. The only difference is that it does not give a key error if we try to access a key that is not present in dict. Okay, first of all, let me import this default dict. Okay, I just imported this default dict. Now let me tell you one very important thing, that when we create the default dict actually takes an argument, and this argument is named as default factory. Now what is a default factory? Default factory is basically a data type. It is a data type like int, float, bool, and all these things. Now I will explain you. Let's see. So let me create a dictionary, and this is not our ordinary dictionary, this is our default dict dictionary. Okay, so we are going to create our dictionary in nums, and it is a default dict dictionary. Now default dict dictionary takes an argument, and that argument is default factory, which is a data type, and the data type I'm going to pass is int. Okay, just forget about int for a while, just forget about this, you just see what I'm going to do. Now let's start initializing the key value pairs. Okay, so 1 is equal to 1. We are going to do this a number of times. Let's do this. 2 is equal to 2. Okay, now let me tell you something very important. Actually, when you try to access a key that is a non-existing key in a dictionary, in default dict, okay, not the regular dictionary, in default dict, what default dict does, it initializes that non-existing key to the value of data type, that is the value of the default factory, the data type that you passed. Okay, and that data type is actually the default value of the default factory. Now don't get confused. Let's print okay, sorry, let's print nums 3. Let's print nums 3, and okay, let me run this code. And okay, I'm extremely sorry. Okay, so as you can see that the output is 0. That is, in our dictionary, in our default dict in nums, which is a default dict dictionary, if we try to access a key that is not present, then this key is mapped with a value which is 0. Why it mapped with 0? It mapped with 0 because we passed the argument in default dict as int, and int, for int data type, the default value is 0. Therefore it initializes, instead of giving a key error, it initializes the non-existing key that we are trying to access with the default value of the default factory, and in case of int it is 0. Actually I will give the default values for different data types. Okay, I will just pop it up on the screen for you. Okay, I will do that. I will do it when I will edit. I will do that. Okay, now you must be thinking that what is the use of this. Okay, actually, you know, we see a lot of videos, we see a lot of tutorial, and there are various tutorial on Udemy also that people see, lakhs of people see. But do you think that these all people are very good Python developer, these all people are very good coders? Maybe not, because you know, learning a concept is not very important. Learning a concept is important, and also the implementation is important. That is, if you are learning something, you must implement it in the real world. You must implement it in situations. Okay, so we will look at a situation to understand default dict in a more better way. Okay, stay with this video. You are going to love this video at the end, because this situation that I'm going to tell you is going to be awesome for you. Okay, so let me clear all these things. Okay, now here we have a name list. Okay, now let me tell you one very important thing. As you can see that I use this split function. Now since you are viewing a collection module, I'm assuming that you know what this split function is doing, but still I'll tell you, because I don't want you to maybe there are certain people who are watching this video who don't know what is split function, maybe, but I think it's very rare. I mean, I don't think it will be actually. So what a split function does, it returns a list. It returns a list, and this list is going to this list, the name list is going to have key values as Mike. The second value is going to be John, then Mike, then Anna, then Mike, then John, Mike, Brittany, Smith, Anna, and Smith. Okay, so what this split function does, this split function splits the string according to the argument passed and returns a list. So we didn't pass any argument here, so default argument is a white space. This function iterates through the string. As soon as it finds a white space, whatever behind that white space is going to be the element of the list that it is going to return. Okay, so I don't want to waste much time, but still I'll show you. I know those who know split function very well must be thinking that what this man is doing. Mike, okay, then John. Okay, so this is going to happen. Okay, it is going to be a list of all these names separated by white spaces. Okay, it is going to be a list. Okay, now let's come to the point. So the situation is this, that we are asked to count the number of times the different name came in this string. That is, here we can see that Mike came 1 2 3 4 5 times. Mike came 5 times. So our task is to return a dictionary in which the key is the name and the value is the number of time that name came in the in this string. Okay, so now let's try to do this with a normal regular dictionary. Let's create a regular dictionary and let's name it count. So you know how to create a regular dictionary. This is our regular dictionary, and what we are going to do for name in name list, what we are going to do is count name is equal to count name plus count name is equal to count name plus 1. This is what we are going to do in this. Okay, this is our logic. I'm trying to explain you what default dict is. Don't go much into the logic. Okay, but it's very simple. You must be understanding that initially if we iterate through, suppose we found Mike once, then we initially that value, whatever that, suppose during the iteration through the string, suppose the value of the Mike at any particular moment is 3, then again we find it, we iterate it, we increment it by 1, so it will become 4. So that's what we are doing here. Okay, try to understand this thing. Now let's print count, shift F10, and we get error. Of course we will get error because we are going to get key error. Mike is a key error because first time we iterate through this list, name list, we find Mike, and when we find Mike, what we are going to do, what we are doing is we are incrementing the value of count Mike, but Mike is a non-existent key. Mike is not present in the count dictionary. It is not present. Okay, so what we are going to do, we are going to use default dict. Let's me replace this count with a default dict, and the default factory, the argument that we need to pass is int. Now try to understand why we are doing this. Because initially we are assuming that Mike, John, Anna, Brittany, Smith, all these are all these keys is initiated with the value 0, and again we find them, we increment that. Okay, now shift F10. Okay, so we get this result, default dict. It is our default dict class int because we pass the default factory as int, so it is taking int default value of the int is 0. Okay, so Mike 5 times, John 3 times, Anna 2 times, Brittany 1 time, and Smith 2 times. Now let me tell you something very important. What is this? That let's go through this code. Okay, so from here, from line number 755. Okay, please don't, I mean actually I have a very bad habit of commenting out all of my previous code and keep doing the things below it. Okay, so from line 755 we have 4 name in name list. So first our name iterator is on Mike. Okay, it comes on Mike, and then what it does, count Mike. Okay, so what it is going to do, it is going to increment the value of count Mike by 1, but count Mike does not exist in our count dictionary. The count Mike is, there's no key with Mike name. So what happens, it will initiate the count Mike to 0 according to our default factory's default value, that is this value here is 0, and it is going to increment by 1. Now count Mike is 1. Okay, now count Mike is 1. Then again we go to John. The John is also not present, so it is again here count name, count John is 0, 0 plus 1, count John become 1. Now when it again come to Mike, Mike is present, its value is 1, so it will increment it, it becomes 2, then Anna, then Mike, and this things continues. So this is an example for you to understand why default dict is important and why implementation is more important than just learning the concept. Learning the concept is the first step. Implementation is very important. So if you are learning any new thing, if you are learning any new language, it is extremely important to implement it. Okay, it is very important. Okay, so I think this is enough for default dict. I think with this exemplary problem at the end, I think default dict is done. Thank you so much. Let's see the next video.